Getting nerds. We're playing Victoria 3. We are back at it with France. We still have a little bit of a budget deficit. I wonder if there's not... We're currently suppressing intelligentsia, but I do need to keep them as weak as possible. Can't pull anyone else out here into the, oh, that's right. I can get someone into Bonapartism. Who was I going to pull? I think maybe the Catholic Church. What are they mad about? They're mad about basically everything. But if I pull them over to Bonapartism, they'll be 3 less unhappy. They'll be significantly less unhappy, because they'll be happy about professional army. They'll be not against colonial resettlement. And they'll be happy about monarchy. Will they be happy about wealth voting? Not really. But they'll be more amenable to autocracy, so that'll be nice. So I think that's going to be the plan. And that should hopefully increase our legitimacy by a bit. So what was I doing? I've got 16.3 infantry. That's right, I was going to expand in Europe. Oh, that's going to be fun. We're going to go buck wild on that. For now, though, I think our primary priority is going to be to improve the economy. Because really, the thing I need more than anything else is to have a solid economy that I can get my unemployed pops to work with. I can definitely build up coal mines. Some coal mines available in French Sahara. That's interesting. A little bit of an infrastructure shortage in Rhône. Do I have better coal mining anywhere? Yes, the Loire coal field. And that's just in Rhône. Okay. So I think do some levels of coal mines, and at the same time, we'll do some levels of railways. And I'm going to pull those railways up to higher up, because obviously I'm building a lot of coal mines here, and we're going to need extra infrastructure to handle that, but we're also needing extra infrastructure now. Ultimately, the answer to this situation is we're going to need more construction sectors. French would where coast is isolated. Did I not just build? I'm building a port in there. Okay. Artillery shortage. Can I increase artillery output? Not yet. But I can research a better method. Shell gun once I'm done with water tube boiler. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. And part of the reason I'm expanding coal infrastructure is because I want to be able to get my urban centers on gas streetlights. But that will take a ton more coal. So I need more capacity to produce coal. To get that done. Oh. Bertrand Clausel has fallen. Let's get a new general for the North Africa HQ. Now we're going to want someone really solid for this. Let's see. You're a Bonapartist, offensive planner, cruel pillager. You'll definitely do. And Saint-Arnaud, you're going to get a big promotion. Because I want you to be first in line to rule the armed forces, potentially. Not first in line. I want you to be high in the list when it comes time for us to, for the armed forces to choose a new leader. If I run out of 10 more weeks, cool, so it's 2.5 months. Very good. So I want to take a look at some of these decisions in here, because I've got some wild and fun options. You got the usual expeditions, but they've got a few others. Number 1. The Treaty of Turin. The province of Savoy is a natural part of the French nation and home to many who consider themselves French. It may be possible through diplomatic means to convince their occupiers to cede the territory. In order to do this, I need to have researched nationalism. I need to be at peace with Savoy. I need to have amicable relations with them. I need them to not be revolutionary, and I need them to not be a subject of another country and to owe an obligation to France. So, we are at amicable relations. But they don't owe me an obligation, so we're bankrolling them. Well, first let's get a trade agreement. This will be good. They might be willing to join our customs union. That would be very good for us on the whole. These are just general methods of improving relations, because I want to keep relations with them good. So I'm probably going to bankroll this country, bankroll Savoy. How much is that going to cost us? Oh, 3.27? Easy. Easy money. So this will eventually generate a... beautiful. This will eventually generate an obligation, at least theoretically. They have accepted. That's put us a little bit below our the number we want to be at for influence, but that's okay. Moving right along here. So we're working on this. Purchase Luxembourg. Luxembourg lies in our natural borders and should be part of France. Perhaps a generous offer will persuade their overlord to accept a sale. I need to have researched nationalism. I need to own all of Alsace-Lorraine. France is not taking loans. So that means I'm not in the red here. Relations with the Netherlands need to be good. We need to be at peace. They need to not be in a revolution. And that will... Government expenses, $20,000 per week for a year. Whew, that's quite a bit. That's 100. That's $1 million. It's £1 million. Okay, it's going to cost me £1 million over the course of the year. But I'll annex Luxembourg. Okay, so that's interesting. Those are the only two new unique decisions that I wanted to draw y'all's attention to. That's new stuff. You know, this is a shame, because I truly would like to have Laissez-Faire in my economy. Technically, I have 40% chance. The armed forces will be fine, but they're very strong. But the landowners like it. The rural folk hate it. So I'm going to write on the armed forces. Dang, this would be really good for us as a whole. 3 days. Just going to wait that out and take myself a sip of water. Remember to stay hydrated. It's very important. Can't, because he's not ideologically compatible. Oh, my bad. I'm not going to be able to get it. Okay. Interesting. So I can only get the armed forces, the petite bourgeoisie, the rural folk, or... Which ones was it? Or the industrialists. And they need to be in government. Can't have a government of all the interest groups. Well, that's a shame. But it is what it is. Let's go ahead and... What? We're down to 22%. Hold on. Oh, no, I was looking at something else. I was looking at free trade, I think. Let's go ahead and try this. And at the same time, we're going to increase the military budget. Hopefully that'll keep the armed forces happy. So they're placated. Denmark wants a trade agreement. Heck yes, Denmark, I'll have a trade agreement with you. That would be just fine. I would be delighted to have a trade agreement with Denmark. Okay, so the petite bourgeoisie are mad now. So they've deactivated middle managers. So that's put our bureaucracy situation in a little bit of a crunch. Shame, really, about that. But hopefully we'll get some of these government administrations finished in a relatively soon. The spark of revolution. The brewing revolution in France is inspiring radical sentiments across the country. I understand there's some concern that weaponry used in the French Revolution might find its way into neighboring countries and end up in the wrong hands. I fear not the gunpowder, but what it might ignite. Not every man desires power for its own sake, but if he is convinced he has been cheated out of his share, he may view it as his duty to claim it. What could be more dangerous than the idea that power belongs to the people? Who will lead France to the future? That gives Mathieu de la Drôme, the head of the rural folk, a lot of popularity, or we will not let these ideals divide us. I'm going to do that. That makes Mathieu de la Drôme very unpopular. So he's the new head of the Radicals, an historical character. We'll see how that goes. On the other hand, what if, and hear me out. Okay, can't do that. Can't just sway him into Bonapartism. What I would really like is to pull the leader of the industrialists into Bonapartism, because that would make my whole setup very effective. I suspect that in the next election, the armed forces and the petite bourgeoisie will align together, and that will be a solid power base from which to work. So, where's my infamy at right now? 13.9. So what do I need in order to take the bits of Belgium that I would like to take? If I make them a puppet, that would be 36 infamy, which is quite a bit. On the other hand, if I return Wallonia and then return Flanders, that would only be 12. Is there anywhere I can see a list of the claims I have? No, it doesn't look like it. Shame. Netherlands wants a trade agreement? Sure. Alright, so there's the movement to preserve interventionism. Wow, that's causing a lot of radicals. Gosh. Not super pleased about that. Happily, we just got another... Hey, there's Colonial Affairs. And next week we should have policing going up as well. And there it is. Wonderful. So as you can see, we're doing some colonization here. Now that we have quinine, we have the capacity to really colonize these places effectively where we did not before. And it looks like we may be about to properly seal off Great Britain. That would be just excellent. That would mean they wouldn't be able to colonize any further here. They're also properly sealed off here, which means we have plenty of capacity to sneak on in and grab whatever we wish to grab. I don't have an interest in Niger. That's what's going on here. So where else do I have interests? I don't desire to have an interest in all of these locations. Perhaps I can skip having one in Mexico, because then I can get an interest in Congo. The boat has kind of sailed for Ethiopia because Great Britain has all the coast here. But if I can get interest in these areas, I can colonize them as well. Let's see how long that's going to take. Alright, we're close. Very good, so we'll return back to that in a moment. So we're just getting that up, and we should be... Yes, so this should be complete sufficiency of government administration for my current purposes. Are continuing to colonize Inner Morocco. Can't colonize Sahrawi because Morocco has a claim there. Dissenters break ranks. Alright, we've seen this event before. We can take a bad hit. We can spend some money and take a moderate hit. Or we can offer them custodianship over a new draft. I'm going to try this one. Is that right? What about even basis here? If I offer them custodianship, the amount will go up. I'm going to try it. I'm not too attached to this. It won't be bad if we give it up. We'll get 1.4 million loyalists, and that'll be nice. Greek obligation expiring. Can I do anything with that? Not really. Here you go, Greece. Now we'll be good friends. Do a promotion. The rural folk are demanding that Bougeot... no thanks, rural folk. I'd rather have the armed forces be happy than you. No offense, TBH. But your leader's a radical, and I think that is not great. Well, I must have not reworked my production methods after my last conquest. Cool. So next round is the universities. I think I'm going to throw this railway up to the top. That'll be just fine. I'm still growing police investment. Yes, I am. Very good. How is unemployment? Unemployment is down to 950,000. We're still working on that. That's going to be kind of a continuing and ongoing issue. We've got a lot of cash in the investment pool, so I'm going to go ahead and expand our construction industry. Just pop these improvements into all the northern metropolitan territories that don't have one, and some of the colonial holdings as well. Colonization of Senegal is complete. Excellent. This is going to be 10 additional levels of construction industry. This is going to be rough on our cash, but it'll allow our private sector to continue to grow the economy more effectively. Which we need to do, because we got a huge pile of cash in the investment pool. Now that those interests are activated, go ahead and colonize these areas. I think all of these states have garden variety malaria. Yes, but we can't go below this line, because this is where the severe malaria goes. And we can't colonize areas with severe malaria until we've got malaria prevention, which is all the way down here. Once again, this has added a bunch of territories that have that are stuck away from our market. I'm just going to go ahead and build a port in each of them. And get those. Just going to wait until this week ticks over so that I get maximum time to make sure I don't interrupt my construction industries. I know this is very sort of brain rot play here, but we're just doing what we're doing. Alright, cool. So that should be good to go. Can keep the Rhone Railway at the top of that. So that should be very good. Alright. As you can see, this has meant a dramatic reduction in the amount of cash we have on hand. I do want to keep the armed forces bolstered, at least for now. I may revisit that during the election. Let me see. If I had the 200 extra authority... Okay, here we go. Here's the election. You have the Union of Rights. Union of Rights is just the armed forces, and the petite bourgeoisie have aligned with the Party of Order. That's interesting. Okay, so it's not going to be of any use to me to push the Party of Order out of the government. That's a real shame. Let's see how that goes. Hydraulic cranes technology, that's just a boost to maximum port level. Again, I'm letting my infamy go down because we're going to try to do a little bit of adventuring in Europe. And everyone tends to get touchy when you do adventuring in Europe. I'm actually going to spread these up across here just to make sure that continue to get my bureaucratic capacity going. Rousing speech captivates the public, so we've seen this event before. I'm just going to go with the inaccurate success chance. I don't necessarily want to throw a ton of power the way of the landowners. I'm not necessarily delighted to have them increasing in power once again. We've got an education up now, so it shouldn't be... Oh gosh, we're really doing rough on taxes. Oof. We're really draining our treasury here doing this. But it is kind of what we have to do. So I'm going to go ahead and increase our speed here. Just get going a little faster. Alright. Prussia and Austria are no longer involved in each other. Interesting. We do have a truce, however. Great Britain is likely to side against me if I get fighty with Prussia. But I do think I have the capacity to take them. What is their primary methods? Okay, they're using the same methods that I am. So maybe... It's shell gun. Gosh, it'll be a lot before I can get breech loading artillery. Let's queue up logistics and triage first. And then we'll go for shell gun. And then we'll go for breech loading artillery. And hopefully that'll speed things up. Maybe we'll get some of those spreading to us. And in addition, we'll have much higher capacity for innovation once we've got a bunch of extra universities. Alright, good. We do have the investment pool draining finally. So that's very good for the country. As you can see, I've got to be very careful about my infamy now that I'm in a situation where I'm pushing forward to get fighty in Europe. Torrent of gin and beer. We've seen this before. I can give moment to the Republican Union. I don't want to do that. Let's run a smear campaign. Again, I don't want the Republican Union to gain power. I'm kind of salty that the petite bourgeoisie aren't sitting with the armed forces, but that just sort of is what it is. So, this is the Metropolitan Police event. I'm going to... I actually really need the radicals down in the armed forces, so I'm going to go for that bonus right now, and hopefully that will help my armed forces opinion. Nope, it's unchanged. Awesome. Alright, so the election is going. I'm in my highest legitimacy state. I stopped suppressing the intelligentsia. I do not have a better option. So I'll continue doing that. Yeah, well, I guess it is what it is. Come on, laissez-faire. Excellent. As you can see, our colonization in Africa is proceeding apace. There's organized sports. That should give us some extra prestige. So our prestige is pretty good. We're beginning to rival Great Britain. That's something I'm very pleased about, and we'll hopefully continue to have that happen. I'm thinking about trying to take over Gelati so that I can get the capacity to colonize in this way in Kenya. Or maybe Oman. 16.7. So we took over. We're neutral. Oh, I don't have an interest over here. Well, Russia, sorry. Friendship, interest ended with Russia. Ethiopia is my new best friend. Just the general area over here in Eastern Africa. Gosh, this is such a high cost here. It's really hurting me. But I've just got to get innovation up. You don't understand. I need to innovate. So how much would it cost me to steal this territory? Only 6. Lovely. It's a risk, but I think it's ultimately important for our long-term competitiveness with Great Britain that I steal this country's land. Great Britain knows that. Probably. Let's see what they do. Great Britain have begun embargoing us. Seems likely they'll try to stop us. Let's mobilize the forces. Colonization of Inner Morocco. There's water tube boiler. Just going to slow the game down just a little bit. I'm going to let this complete and then pause construction because I want to not be completely sideways financially. And then we'll deal with our production methods. We have some unemployment, so I don't want to decrease our employment at all. So I'm only going to do these ones to make these buildings more productive. Unfortunately, the lead mines are going to become unprofitable. Is there anywhere we can sell lead? I'm going to Prussia will buy a little lead. That's okay with me. So, all I'm going to do is conquer this country here. And what that's going to hopefully allow us to... not hopefully. What that's going to allow us to do is get colonizing Kenya here, and that'll let us get into these other areas. And there's the Bessemer process, so that makes our steel mills more efficient. Let's go ahead and do it. I know that reduced their profitability, but we increased our overall steel output, and that's what matters. Excellent. Well, let's progress to voting. We have crystal glass. No, we don't have crystal glass. We have crystal glass spreading to us next. So that's what we've got to work with. Still nobody is deciding to give us a fight here. That's very good. I'm very pleased with that. So what'll happen is if that state of affairs continues, which it should. Yes. All right. So we'll do a naval invasion. We'll have that done with pretty soon. Excuse me. All right, here we go. Ooh. Sardinia-Piedmont wants to the customs union. Absolutely, Sardinia-Piedmont. I would be delighted to have you in my customs union. Let's see. No obligation yet. 2 arms, very good. So we'll just do a classic naval invasion. We're going to have Guillaume Dode de la Brunerie do that. That should get us everything we need. That's going to take forever, but it just is what it is. Gosh, this is still low. And we're really draining our investment pool now that the private sector is using all of this cash. Oof. I may have overbuilt government and stuff, but it's necessary to keep radicalization down. So this reduction to radicals is going to be very good, and this reduction to political movement radicalism is also going to be really useful. Alright, so we should be landing soon. Here's the battle. As you can see, we outnumber and we outgun them, so this shouldn't take too long for us to win this war, obviously. Let's grab Jacques Leroy de Saint-Arnaud once this battle is sorted out. This thing is going to take forever. But the ends of battles always take forever. That's supposed to change in one of the upcoming updates. It's just something that's slated to take forever. And this is basically so that if our fronts get funky, well, we won't be in a situation where we're stuck with funky fronts. And we end up losing a battle or something as a result of that, of those funky fronts. There we go, that's a success. Alright, so I don't need to necessarily spend attention on that. Laissez-Faire. Got this going. Come on. Yes! Alright, so this will make our economy much more efficient at producing the things we need it to produce. Which is to say, by putting money, in terms of putting money into the investment pool. Look at that! That's incredible. We're back in the black financially. Heck, that's excellent. I'm going to go back to building here. Okay, so we are still spending some cash building stuff. But that's alright. This is a pretty manageable deficit. And we're not going to be building for too much longer here. So where are we with coal? Coal is still doing really, really rough. Although part of the reason it's doing rough is because a lot of people are buying coal from us. It's like, do you have glassworks in production? You don't. That's curious, because we could definitely... Glassworks are definitely profitable here. I want to conquer them. Alright, so this will take a little time. Hopefully not more than a few more weeks. So what that'll do is that'll allow us to get colonizing Kenya, and that'll get us access to those areas that we want to have access to in order to be able to outpace Britain in the scramble for Africa, which is a big political feature of this time period. Give me your country. There we go. Have I got a port here? Yes, I have. Let's go ahead and standardize our production methods. Millet farms are going to get better methods. Fishing wharves are going to get trawlers. Barracks are going to get guns. Cargo port. No lighter heavy industry to speak of here. That's okay. Gosh, government constructions are now going really slow because we're now on laissez-faire, but on the plus side, our finances are excellent. So that's just great. And frankly, the investment pool is only being slowly drained. We could actually probably afford to increase construction capacity significantly. But for now, we'll leave that be. So currently we're researching shell gun. As you can see, innovation is increasing. Our maximum is 113. When you've got higher innovation than your literacy allows you to use, 60% of the excess spills over into tech spread. So, getting fighty, are you, Ottoman Empire? Very good. I'd be happy to have that. So if I get past 113, it'll basically grab 60% of the excess innovation and divide it 20% each of the base excess between the spread of each of the categories. So you can still overshoot your innovations significantly without having a problem. See, as you can see, because we're colonizing faster than Britain, because we have quinine and they don't, we're able to get a lot more colonization progress in these areas. And hopefully we'll be able to outpace them from a colonization perspective, and getting a proper empire built in Africa. Let's see. I'm just going to double check and make sure. I really wish there was another icon for severe malaria to indicate that the malaria is worse. Cool. But there is not, and that's okay. So, these groups want to restore interventionism. I'm not going to do that because laissez-faire is very, very good for our economy. With that having been said, though, I'm going to stop bolstering the armed forces. This doesn't seem like it's being very useful to me, and my budgetary concerns are concerns. So, we're going to put a consumption tax back on luxury clothes. And what we're going to do next is we're going to put a... Huh. These places have some turmoil, do they? 50% reduction in migration attraction, which is really a shame. Because I want to keep migration to these areas increasing. I need to build up two Sicilies happily. And we'll have a... Ooh, excellent. So Sardinia-Piedmont has owes us an obligation. So that means we should be able to do this now. Alright, Sardinia-Piedmont has agreed to cede the states of Savoy and the Piedmontine Provence to France. The most powerful motives of political necessity, the exigencies of the future of Italy, the sentiment of gratitude towards our powerful ally, and finally, the exceptional circumstances of our country, have decided, although with regret, our beloved king to separate the provinces which have been for so many centuries intimately bound up with our nation. All opposition should fall powerless before the interests of the country and the sentiment of duty. Incorporate Savoy post haste, or conduct a plebiscite to assuage the people. Ooh, excellent. What an interesting idea. So both of these are, we lose the obligation and we get Savoy. Or we can get a bunch of... So the thing I'm wondering about is the plebiscite one only... It would have to be only in Savoy. Still, it seems good. I would like loyalists. And let's go ahead and get the province incorporated. It'll take 2 years. That shouldn't be a problem. Cool. Ooh, and there's already a glassworks under construction. Is that under state construction? Perhaps it is not. Cool. Okay, so that's the industrialists doing their job. Very good. We have some changes in production methods. Let's go ahead and make this an efficient glassworks. Go ahead and get... Oh, interesting. Slightly more profitable under softwood production. Curious. Maybe... Tell you what. We'll have all of our African provinces producing softwood instead. And that'll be where softwood production will go. Yeah, that's how we'll do it. Development, we're good. Oh, we got 2 construction sectors out of that. Wonderful. Not that 2 construction centers is something that's so... Not that that's something that's difficult to get. Alright, so next thing we need... You know, I'm going to go ahead and build a university in each of these provinces. I think that's going to ultimately end up being a necessity here. In terms of resources, iron mines are a good thing to build, but in terms of reducing turmoil... Well, that's right. I don't have any base turmoil reduction because these are unincorporated territories. But surely I should get... Yeah, I get a bunch of migration attraction from colonial resettlement. So if I reduce... Oh, so much cash, though. I'm making a lot of money out of these consumption taxes. Still, we've gotten a lot done here. So I'm going to put the game on pause for now. We're still at fairly high infamy due to our little adventure over here. But hopefully that'll, over here in Africa, but hopefully that'll be reduced. But yeah, let's put a pin in it for now, and come back next time. But until then, I've had fun. I hope you all had fun, and I'll see you all on the other side.